Very good morning to all of you. Most respected Dr. Subbarao Kodori, a person please understand in the G grade in ISRO, resigning and taking a risk and starting a company. I think I have to salute for that decision, whatever he has taken. Today the country is really getting benefit out of it. And Andrew Kodori, Managing Director of ATL, and most respected Mr. Kunnikrishnan, the former Space Commission member of Indian Space Program, Mr. Uma Maheswaran, former Scientific Secretary and Director of Human Spaceflight Center, Dr. Samdeo Dev, who is in the audience, Dr. Rajpi Thomas, Director IAST, Divankar Banerjee, my close friend Dr. VHVS Narayanamurthy, Vice Chancellor of DIT DRDO, Director LPSC, Mr. Mohan, Director IASU, Mr. Levin from K-Space, and my dear friends from ISRO and ATL. And again, dear close friend, Mr. Pal Pandian, who is responsible for the formation of Center of Excellence today. Very good morning to all of you. I consider that I am navigated to be here for inaugurating the Center of Excellence on the navigation by the Almighty. That's what it is, a great privilege and honor and blessing for me to be here. Otherwise, I know this program was initiated, rather the thought process happened almost 7 to 8 years back, and when the ATL was inaugurated, I was also one among you. But then, really, it is a great honor and privilege. I consider that too. Great veterans on the stage, very close friends, seniors, elders are there, and it is my honor to be with you. Now, when you talk about Anand Technologies, started at a very humble beginning, but today they are giving job for 3,200 professionals in the country. I think let us give you a big hand for the great effort. Please imagine if we are to give employment opportunity for 100 people. Please think and understand how much difficult it is. Today, this team, Mr. Dr. Subbarao and his family is giving job for 3,200 not average people, highly intellectuals. That is a great contribution to the country. Other than producing lot of products for space sector and other things. And let me thank behind the success of every man there is a woman. And surely you all know who is sitting in front of us, Mrs. Subbarao. Surely please understand, some of us who are in the SG or OS grade, if you try to resign, surely our life partner will not allow. They will not hold. I don't know how you allow, but then really, that is the reason I say you are behind his success, and today the country is benefiting out of it. Now, I think when I came here, I was thinking, what is that? Almost 30% time I am going around the country, not inside the ISRO office. I was having a little ill feeling, to be frank. But after coming here, that ill feeling really went away. Because I was inside a family of only ISRO team. And now coming to this navigation area, this is a very advanced area. I think to this audience, if I talk about navigation, guidance control, I think my knowledge compared to so many of you are not even 10% knowledge. And this is a very highly technology intensive area, and lot of import conducts are happening. And laser gyroscope, I remember 1993 when we were in Russia, and somebody told there is a laser gyroscope, we have to somehow get the drawings and transfer the technology to India to Mr. Jnanagami sir. We wanted to see that product. Finally we could see the product, how much difficult it was. Somebody brought in a very difficult situation and brought to our room, and we could see. But today, I am seeing same Narayan seeing a laser gyroscope getting developed not in government setup, in a private organization. I think something great thing has happened in the country. And when you talk about Viksit Bharat, surely we have to ensure the import content in strategy area is brought to nearby. Then only we can think about a developed country. And And navigation system, I was thinking, what is the greatness of this navigation system? Of course, when you talk about aircraft, when you talk about spacecraft, when you talk about launch vehicle, everywhere the navigation is a very, very important thing. I have my own experience, I want to tell you. We used to tell in a very lighter way. The difference between the Deepavali rocket and our own launch vehicle, there is small difference. Deepavali rocket, from Sivagas, if you buy and you try to lift the Deepavali rocket, 25 to 30% time it doesn't work. And 70 to 80, 75% time it works. Whenever it works, the rocket, Deepavali rocket will go wherever it wants to go. Whereas our launch vehicle should go wherever we want to go. For that only we all are working, and the navigation system plays a very, very crucial role towards it. Recently I have got an experience, not this Deepavali, last year Deepavali. 4 days before the Deepavali, I happened to be in Madurai for an important program. After that program, when we were returning from Madurai by car, on the road, there were so many cracker shops, beautifully decorated with good lighting and other things. And I was tempted to stop the car in one of the cracker shops. Then my wife was telling, why are you stopping here, asking the driver to stop. After stopping, I told I will go to the shop and come back. Went, I bought lot of items, something around 15,000 equivalent worth about items, including 10 rockets, 700 mm height, send one packet. And everything is packed. Then my wife came out, what is this? What for? This is so much. Okay, fine. Everything was packed and put in the car. We came to the house and it was the Deepavali. And of course, initially something was used. Then the rocket has to be, the flame has to be given to the rocket. I told my son, hey, please do it. He saw this, so he told nothing doing. We are staying in a campus, some 2-acre land, 1.5 acres land also. And there are 11 houses and one apartment, 9-story building. And only a small vacant plot, there just to be, the flame has to be given. He flatly refused. He told no, something will go wrong and I don't want to take this responsibility. Then my wife was telling, what for you what? Then finally I took the risk of taking, and one bottle I broke and put the first rocket. So a very big rocket. And very carefully we will do this process. And the apartment is on the other side, I kept the rocket exactly 180 degree opposite. And my wife was telling, be careful, the neighbors would not blame. And finally, the flame was given to the rocket. Perfectly it lifted off, went in this direction. I don't know what went wrong. Exactly turned 180 degree, went and hit the 7th floor door, not door, window. And there we are seeing the family sitting inside the house and they are talking and this is hitting. My wife was really like a rocket or fireworks, she was shouting. And then everything I packed, came to the house. And really we were worried. Imagine it, tears inside the window and what will happen. And that is the reason we say the Deepavali rocket will go. I don't see it with my own eyes. Deepavali rocket will go wherever it wants to go. Whereas our launch vehicle should go precisely wherever we want to go. That is the place, the navigation, guidance, control, everything plays the crucial role. And otherwise the power plant is almost same. And dear friends, coming to the ISRO program, if I talk to this audience, it will be too much. However, I should talk a little bit about the ISRO programs. And 1963, November 21st, you all know what is the importance of that. The tiny rocket, whatever gave by America, it was lifted off from our own place successfully. August 1st, 1975, you all know what was the great day. We demonstrated the site experiment. 2,400 television sets were kept in 2,400 villages of 6 states, and we got a satellite signal from ATS-6 satellite and passed through that, and we demonstrated for the first time mass communication through space is possible. And that signal was again given by America. And we were truly, you all will agree with me, not 60 years, 70 years behind those developed countries. And this year, July 30th, the NISR launch. NISR launch is a very, very fantastic launch. NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite. The L-band SAR payload along with the 12-meter unfurlable antenna. 10,360 crore JPL NASA has invested. 10,360 crore. And I was initially thinking this number is wrong. But then when I tried to discuss the type of models what they have made, structural model, testing like, then lot of things, not like us, we don't do lot of things. And they have done really this much money is invested. And similar payload we have built with only 10% of their cost. And the entire satellite is built by NTX India and launched successfully by a rocket for which the creative technology was denied by all the countries and indigenously developed and we placed precisely the orbit. Today we are rubbing shoulder to shoulder with the developed nations, including America, in the space program. So this is a typical example of what we succeeded recently. And this year, again, this month, second, the heaviest communication satellite lifted from Indian soil, 4,410 kg, and that is yet another important milestone. And dear friends, when we talk about our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, or making India as a developed country before we celebrate 100 years of independence, I think we have to become self-sufficiency in multiple areas. And in fact, recently in one of the meetings, I gave a small suggestion. I told all the secretaries of the government of India department, they were there, they should be given one direction. In 10 years, the FE content in the country should be brought in every department below 10% of the present value. This is one of the very easy to tackle, but very difficult to implement. Also, they have one suggestion that after this, we have to put an exclusive department to monitor because everybody will give nice roadmap. I will bring it down, but then very, very difficult to implement. And it is in that area, probably today, whatever we have inaugurated the Center of Excellence, it is in those directions. Really, this is one of the very, very strategic area, very small products, but then very, very complex, very, very technology demanded products what is inside. And this is one of the area where you have ventured and you have initiated and under the great leadership of lot of people, including Parpadi and Jaitan, so many people are there. I need not tell one or two names and all the people are there. And of course, I know the role of Mr. Uma Maheswaran and Kuni Krishnan as a leadership role or advisory role will come in the appropriate time. And lot of things you have initiated. First of all, let me pray the Almighty to shower the blessing. When you inaugurate a facility, you also have got the responsibility to pray so that the facility will grow to greater and greater heights. Let me pray the Almighty to shower the blessing for this facility to grow to greater and greater heights to meet the demand of our country and contribute for the Viksit Bharat 2047. And dear friends, surely when you talk about the startup ecosystem in the country, you have to thank our Honorable Prime Minister. In fact, to be frank, when the space sector reform was brought, we were all little bit disturbed because we were all working in ISRO, a fantastic organization and little bit monopoly also, and nobody else was in the game, and we were working and we were really little worried. But today, I can tell as Secretary Department of Space, I can very well tell you, really whatever effort taken, whatever rolled out is a fantastic idea. Let us thank Honorable Prime Minister for that vision of bringing the space sector reform. Today, the startup ecosystem, startup companies from hardly 3 numbers, there are 330 plus startup companies are working. And you can ask why these startup companies are. For example, today we are having 57 satellites in the orbit. And the demand for the country, when you take at least another 3 years, the demand is at least 4 times of the present numbers, whatever is in the orbit. Now, when you talk about 4 times, that means another 150 satellites has to be added with this 57. And how ISRO can meet this requirement? It's just impossible. With the type of manpower what we are having, type of infrastructure what we are having, and surely the private company startup system has to come in a big way and we have to take their support. And the type of launches, I still remember when I joined ISRO, 1 launch in 3 years, that is the type of thing. And from that, the record was gradually going. And Mr. Kuni Krishnan, he was the PSLV project director. We were working that way, we could not succeed at that point of time. I think the entire organization spirit was kept by the PSLV project director. And I think the numbers were around 10 numbers we launched, 8 or 10 numbers. The exact number I don't remember, but close to 10 to 12 numbers per year was the type of launch. Now, Honorable Prime Minister has already given the direction that in another 5 years, the launches should take place 50 numbers per year from India. It is not a simple statement. The demand of the country is to that level, it is there. Now, when you talk about 50 launches, that means every week one launch should take place. And surely ISRO alone cannot do. So the startup companies have to come, and there are huge demands for small microsatellites and small launches. So that is the place only the startup companies can. They need not work on the Mark III vehicle or new generation vehicle, big rockets. They need not. This huge investment is required, whereas you have to do little economics. You have to do those calculations, and small satellite launches are required. That is the place surely the startup ecosystem and company has to work. Now coming to the utilization of the satellite data, in fact, after I took over, Honorable Prime Minister gave me one action. Say, when you say 134 satellites you have built and launched, you give your appreciation of what is the utility of each satellite. And I didn't understand that action on me, but it took almost 2.5 months for me to understand. Because the question was my appreciation on the utility of 134 satellite, not Department of Space appreciation. Probably he wanted me to understand really how much you are utilizing. It is really not that good numbers. Scientific satellites, more than 100% utilization. When it comes to Earth observation or communication satellite, I think the utility numbers are less. And huge wealth of data is there from the Earth observation satellites. Solely, this is one of the areas the data can be utilized by the private sector and it can be taken forward. So, thereby, when the space sector reform is brought inside, this is a very, very useful thing. And let me thank Honorable Prime Minister for that fantastic idea. And it is our responsibility, ISRO responsibility to handhold the startup ecosystem, private companies and academia to grow the space ecosystem in the country. Of course, as ISRO trust on ISRO activities, but as Secretary Department of Space, I have already committed 20% of my time. I will work other than ISRO activities, only growing the startup ecosystem and private sector contributing for this area. In that capacity, today I am standing in front of you, that too inaugurating a fantastic facility. Now, dear friends, ISRO, lot of new programs are there. Number one, we have got 83 approved satellites today. Please understand, 83 approved satellites are in the hand, which we have to launch. 76 approved launch vehicles are in the hand. Other than the new development work like Chandrayaan 4, Chandrayaan 5, Venus Orbiter Mission, next generation launcher, and crewed mission to Moon. Of course, that is yet to be conceived. We are in the process of conceiving. So, lot of activities. And surely, the companies like ATL will contribute in a very, very big way in making our country as a developed country. I don't want to dwell much. Let me wish each and every one of you who are working here a very, very fruitful and useful time, because I know a highly educated person as the owner of the company and his family is also highly educated. Surely they know how to respect the intellectuals. That is the reason I am seeing lot of intellectuals. Otherwise, intellectuals will not stick to any company like this. And I am sure you will respect and your children will respect the knowledge. Because people with 35 years or 40 years knowledge joining in this organization, it is not that they don't have money like in earlier days. People are having enough money for their comfortability, but it is only a professional satisfaction. Probably they want to contribute. So one has to really respect their knowledge, their domain. That is what is required. And of course, those who are joining, you are joining with, I want to tell you, sometimes I feel we are losing from this whole lot of people. You know why? When somebody is joining as a SC engineer, you know what is their knowledge. And gradually over a period of 35 years, 40 years service, becoming G, HR, OS, that type of level, I consider when you join as SC level, if your knowledge is 10th standard equivalent knowledge, when you retire, the knowledge is equivalent to standard PhD from maybe MIT or IIT, that type of knowledge. and you are taking that type of people, and this type of companies are really contributing. And surely, I am so happy as Secretary Department of Space, and the space ecosystem in the country is growing, and I wish ATM and this Center of Excellence to grow to greater and greater heights and contribute for our country. And from Department of Space, I can assure whatever within the government framework, whatever support is required, that will be extended within the government framework. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Dr. Subbarao Garu, who has been a pillar of strength for us, who understood that we can do it. I recollect him saying that in a later way, if you have something to your wife which is the same as Mr. Mohan, Director APSC, and Mr. Swami Narayan, Director ASU, and Levin, Mr. CEO of
The Center of Excellence for Navigation Systems is a reality today. Just now, Chairman ISRO Dr. V. Narayanan